addition, Grand Bahamas schools to open after those facilities were hard hit by Hurricane Dorian. Trailers shifting to Abaco as that island is poised for some changes this week. And Bahamian heroes recognized. Happy Tuesday morning to all of you. I'm LaDawn Davis and welcome to the morning edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us following a long holiday weekend. You're waking up to generally good weather with some sunshine in the forecast. Our weatherman Basil Dean has a quick check on the forecast for the rest of the week.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the Bank of Solutions.
Good morning, LaDawn. We get you started with our ZDS Tower cam, which is showing our near clear skies. There's one or two puffy clouds floating around as we take you to the tropics. We have tropical depression number 15 in the far eastern Atlantic. You can see showers and thunderstorms associated with that. Just to the south and east of the Cape Verde Islands, there's another area several hundred miles to the east of the Les Antilles. This has about a 20% chance of developing over the next couple of days, so we'll watch this one as well. But TD number 15, by the way, is moving toward the northwest at around 12 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds at 35 miles per hour. Now, this system could become a tropical storm later on today, but will fizzle out by tomorrow back to a tropical depression as it will encounter some strong upper level sharing just to the north and west of that system. Outside of our studios, we have a few clouds, temperature 79 degrees, your relative humidity at 78%. Easterly winds at 7 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,017.0 millibars, that's 30.03 inches, and your pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, 74 in Marsh Harbor, 74 also in Green Toll Key and Freeport as we take you into the Berry Islands. A little warmer at 78, 79 in Allenstown, Bimini, 78 in Harbour Island. Roxani, Luttrell, 79, 79 in Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key, 80, 80 in Kemps Bay, South Andros, Fresh Creek and Central Andros at 79 degrees. San Salvador, 79, Grim Key at 79 degrees, 80 degrees in Ragged Island, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, 81, Acklands, 81, 81 also in Matthew Town, Unagua, the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. And your boating forecast for today for all areas northeast to east winds 10 to 15 knots. They will be falling light and variable at times. Wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide 8:23 this morning. The low tide will take place at 2:44 this afternoon. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Now on to our top story this morning. It's back to school this week for most students on Grand Bahama and Abaco as schools are set to open on Wednesday with just administrators, support staff, and teachers. Students will return to the classroom on Thursday. Minister of Education, the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, says officials had to deal with many obstacles in the beginning, with public utilities being down to the contamination of water supply. But he says the Ministry of Education has received the approval to resume classes.
These schools are Freeport Primary, Walter Parker Primary, Bartlett Hill Primary, Lewis Yard Primary, Martintown Primary, Holmes Rock Primary, West End Primary, Jack Haywood Junior High, Sister Mary Patricia Junior High, Jack Haywood Senior High, St. George's Senior High, 8 Mile Rock Secondary, and the Beacon School. Works are continuing at the Hugh Campbell Primary School, the Genesis Academy, Maurice Moore, and the Haven School. It is expected that Hugh Campbell and Maurice Moore will be ready for reopening on Monday, 21st October.
Since the passage of Hurricane Dorian, the Minister of Education says 1,400 students from Abaco have been placed in schools on New Providence, while most families chose to stay over on Grand Bahama. Now, according to the minister, some schools in northern Abaco opened with the help of teachers and volunteers. The education minister later provided us with an update on the reopening of schools in Cooperstown.
It is planned that teachers and students living in the Cooperstown area will also soon be able to start school at a site to be determined sometime this week. In total, We expect that in excess of 400 students in Abaco will be receiving instructions by the end of this week. As Minister of Education, it is heartening to see the resiliency and commitment by educators and community-minded persons to work with what they have in order to ensure that the children of those communities are educated.
Repairs to schools on Grand Bahama and Abaco will be ongoing even after classes resume. Director of Public Works Melanie Roach says officials are still working out how much repairs will cost.
The Ministry of Works is still in the process of completing their detailed assessments, the preparation of the scopes of works, and the pricing of those works. So we don't have a definitive figure as yet. As the scope of works are completed and priced, the information is sent to Ministry of Education, and at the end of, I would say in about 2 weeks, we should have all of those scopes completed, and then Ministry of Education would know how much the repairs are going to cost.
Temporary housing shipped into Abaco for government workers. The recreational facilities were placed on barges this weekend. The trailers are assigned to various government agencies, including 15 to the Ministry of Health, 8 to airports, 20 to security forces, 6 for the Ministry of Works, and 1 has been reserved as a workspace for senior government officials. 60 trailers will be placed at the primary school and 40 at the high school in Marsh Harbor. The full complement of trailers expected in Abaco by this coming weekend. Meantime, the port of Abaco is expected to be fully operational by tomorrow. Work is also underway to reopen the Marsh Harbor International Airport. This according to a statement from the Prime Minister's office. It was also announced that health teams will start removing debris from residential areas. Now later this week, the Prime Minister, along with the Minister of State for the new Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, the Honorable Iram Lewis, will visit Abaco. The team will assess the progress of rebuilding efforts, and a meeting is also scheduled with the Chamber of Commerce in Abaco. President of the Abaco Chamber, Krista Albury, on the expectations for the island.
The return of commerce is coming to Abaco. The first bank outlet will be opened up, tentatively speaking, soft opening on November 7th, located inside of Maxwell's Supermarket, which we hope will be the first sign that money will start to mean something again in Abaco. At this point, we are still working with our membership on seeing who is willing to come back, though unlike some of our counterparts, the initial response after Dorian was that many of our members said that they were not coming back to Abaco. Hands down, they were done. They didn't have it in them to rebuild anymore. But in the past few weeks, we have seen a large shift in many of our members. They are starting to see the glimmers of hope in Abaco.
According to Albury, efforts are being made to encourage members of the Abaco business community to return home and rebuild.
Come home. We're rebuilding. It's going to be bigger and better than it ever has been before, and we need each and every one of you to come home to help us do this. We cannot do it without the Abaconians that have left. We cannot do it without the assistance of all of those who have come to our aid, not only those in New Providence, but Spanish Wells, who we will affectionately always known as the first responders to Abaco post-Dorian.
Well, it was an historic day for the Bahamas as 21 distinguished Bahamians were recognized during the second class of the annual National Honors Awards. The distinction is given to Bahamians nominated for their devotion and dedication to national development. The investiture ceremony held at Government House was headlined by a salute to the heroes of Hurricane Dorian. Here's Altavis Munnings.
The sound of the national anthem rang throughout the grounds of Government House on National Heroes Day as 21 Bahamians received lifetime national recognition through the National Honors Awards as required by the National Honors Act.
Today's honorees are also people of courage who have demonstrated this master virtue and other virtues such as generosity, justice, and fortitude.
Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, praised this year's National Honors recipients for offering tremendous and exemplified national service. He also used the opportunity to recognize the courage and grace of the heroes of Hurricane Dorian.
Some Bahamians took to jet skis and small boats to rescue others. Others knocked on the doors to evacuate neighbors, children, the elderly, and the infirmed. Beginning today, through various social media, the Office of the Prime Minister will recognize and recall the examples of a number of these heroes. Their stories exemplify the courage of many other Bahamian heroes. Such service and courage is a powerful demonstration of the best of the Bahamian spirit and the spirit of one Bahamas.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
The Order of the Bahamas is conferred upon any Bahamian citizen who has achieved and given outstanding distinction and exemplary service to the country. This year's honorees are the Right Honorable Reverend Dr. Philip Ramming, with the Right Honorable Timothy Gibson and the Right Honorable Dr. Hervis Bain receiving the awards posthumously. The Order of Distinction is awarded to Bahamian citizens who have provided exemplary service to the Bahamas.
I didn't do my work to be honored. I did it because I thought it was necessary, and I'm hoping that the people who come after me and after all these people here will benefit from the work that we've done.
It's a recognition that the country recognizes and appreciates service to the country in various ways, and the contribution of talent of many people.
Well, it encourages those who come behind, to try and follow in their parents, footsteps.
I am happy that I was able to do something to make things better in this country.
The Order of Merit is given to a Bahamian citizen who has achieved national or international distinction in science, education, public service, the arts, literature, or any other endeavor.
It is an honor because my father has given service to his country, and it is appreciative when people recognize what you've done. But his love has been for his country and his people.
We fought for this for a long time. I have nothing against being honored by somebody else otherwise, but I would prefer that my own people say thank you.
The Order of the Lignum Vitae was given to Bahamian Olympian Shawnee Miller-Weibo. Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Alto. It may be a challenge for some waking up this morning as students head back to the classroom. Lloyd Allen and the Morning Edition team is standing by on Nassau Street.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, good morning, LaDon. Good morning, Bahamas. Well, it's a Tuesday morning. We're just off the National Heroes holiday yesterday, and it's a busy start already this morning. This morning, we're reporting your traffic from the intersection of Nassau Street North and West Bay Street, better known as Western Esplanade. This morning, we're also joined by Sergeant Jerome Thompson from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, who's giving us a look at your holiday weekend traffic report. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
So a busy weekend. Talk to us a bit about traffic this past holiday weekend.
Yes, we had a very busy weekend indeed for the entire Bahamas, not just New Providence. We had a total of 87 accidents. 60 of those were regular accidents. 26 of those involved accidents with injuries. We had one hit-and-run accident and one traffic fatality. This occurred on Prince Charles Drive in the area of the Walk Chinese restaurant, where a pedestrian was struck and killed.
I also understand that a number of those incidents also involved pedestrians.
Yes, we had 6 of those accidents with injuries involved pedestrians. We want to advise the pedestrians that are using our streets to do so with such care. If a vehicle is right or wrong for an accident, the pedestrian pays the most because they're going to be hurt or have some serious injuries or even die. So you have to pay attention. I think more onus is on the pedestrian to be careful and to be alert while traversing the streets.
Now, one of those things that I like to advise students especially, but also obviously adults as well, when walking on the street, it's always important to walk on the side of the street on the oncoming traffic. Is that better as opposed to in the opposite direction?
Yes, it is indeed. It is indeed better to walk facing the traffic, because if you have to make an evasive maneuver to get out of the way of vehicular traffic, it'll be better. You stand a better chance of not being hurt. Also, we like persons to advise persons to utilize the sidewalks. The government spend a lot of money on these sidewalks. Even persons who are exercising, I don't understand it, but they rather be in the streets, walking into traffic, and they want to be bold about it. But like I said, if you were to get struck from a vehicle, right or wrong, you're going to pay with serious pain, injuries, and what have you.
And another thing going on in this area, Ladon, this morning roadworks continues. As you can see behind us, there's several heavy equipment, and the streets are also dug up in this area of Nassau Street North. So we're also advising drivers as they're approaching this area to approach with caution and care. Of course, as Officer Thompson just advised us, several pedestrians involved in several incidents over this weekend. So of course you want to travel and traverse the streets of New Providence and the country with safety and caution. But it's a great Tuesday morning, and it's a great start to your new week, and it's a new school week as well. One more week in breast cancer awareness, and we continue to make our awareness pointed out with our pins and so forth. But Ladon, back to you in studio.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Still to come in the morning edition, some rules and regulations set out for persons residing in shelters. We'll reveal them on the other side of the break. Welcome back to the morning edition. Police are this morning investigating the shooting death of a male said to be in his early 20s. The victim was reportedly involved in an argument with another man. The incident occurred shortly after 8 o'clock Sunday night through Pit Lane off McCullough Corner. Police are now appealing to residents to provide any information they may have regarding the incident. 5 passengers alive this morning, including the pilot, after a Cessna skidded off the runway yesterday in Norman's Cay. Air accident investigators say the landing mishap occurred around 11 Monday morning after the brakes failed on the private aircraft. They were all members of a family on board the flight, which originated in Florida. They were apparently visitors to the area. No injuries were reported. Have you thought about what life may be like in shelters across the capital following the hurricane? Well, hundreds of evacuees are still being housed in those facilities across the capital, but most of them are now being accommodated at the Secandal Isaacs Gym. Director of Social Services Lillian Quant Forbes shares with us a regular setting.
And what you do, you wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning because you don't want to be on the line. So meaning being on the line to get to the bathroom, to take your daily shower. Once you get that out of the way, if you're a person who do your devotions, then you have a quiet devotion time. After that, being able to have breakfast. And then after that, being able to do whatever it is that you may feel that you need to do in that day. You may say, well, okay, then I need another, some other items of clothing. Well, then you can get a referral. They will give you a card, and you will take it over to the distribution center at Tommy A. Robinson, and you'll be able to get those kinds of items and whatever.
The Social Services Director also notes that various activities are mounted for persons residing in shelters.
Persons who can come, they've been treated to the movies, they've been treated to all sorts of activities. And so again, too, they may even have, they've had movie day on site at the Kendall GLI 6. We've gone to several of the centers where they have had live entertainment, people who come in and sing and play games and all sorts of activities that go on at these various centers, shelters. And so, you know, a given day can be a variety of things. But at the end of the day, the doors will close and it will be nap time, bedtime, downtime for persons. And so if it is that you used to hanging out and you wanting to come into the shelter at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, well, the door will not be open because you're in the shelter and these are the shelter rules.
The stories of survivors become more and more interesting. This morning, we share with you the experience of a young mother in her 30s who says breast cancer is not a death sentence. Take a look. Well, joining us here on the Morning Edition is 4-year breast cancer survivor Chantel Neely, right from here in the capital. Chantel, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Thank you for having me.
So Chantel, talk to me a little bit about your journey, I guess, battling breast cancer. How did you discover the lumps in your breasts?
Okay, it was December 2014. I went to sleep like any other night, and I woke up that morning and I discovered a lump protruding out of my right breast. I looked at the lump because I'm thinking that probably an insect had bitten me, but there was no redness, no reaction around it, no pain or anything. So what I did, I got ready and I went to the clinic that day. When I went to the clinic, the doctor examined me and everything, and he was like, I never saw this lump before. I told him, I said, no, I never saw this lump before. I said, I don't know where the lump came from because it was a good size lump. It was like this, probably the size of a large marble. So he referred me to go to the Medi Center to do further testing. I left that same day, I flew out that same day, and that afternoon I was in Nassau at the Medi Center. To the Medi Center, I was directed to do an ultrasound as well as a mammogram. When she did the mammogram first, she was saying that she was seeing something that she didn't like, so then she followed me to do the ultrasound. When I did the ultrasound, she said she still didn't like what she was seeing. So she called Dr. Loxley Monroe to see when he could actually saw me, it was around like probably a week before Christmas, and he was, everyone's on vacation, so he couldn't see me until January. When he saw me in January 2015, that's when he looked at the size of the lump, and he was like, okay, because of the size of the lump, because of where it was so big, they would give me an excisional biopsy. So I went and did the excisional biopsy where they removed the lump out of my breast area and sent it off for testing. In March 2015, that's when I got the results, when he told me that I have stage 2 aggressive breast cancer. He gave me my option, which was to cut off one breast, cut off two breasts, or just leave the breast on and just clean up the area where the lump was found. I made the decision to do a double mastectomy because I didn't feel like, I was like, okay, you heard stories of if you cut off one breast, it can come back in the next breast. And I was like, I'm not going to go through all of that chemo and radiation again. So I just made the decision to do the double mastectomy. Same month, in March. It only took me like about a week after the results was given to me. I did the double mastectomy, then I did 8 rounds of chemo, followed by 27 rounds of radiation. I had to do radiation because when they did the excisional biopsy and then they followed me to do the mastectomy, they took out some of my lymph nodes, and they took about 10, and one of my lymph nodes came back positive to say that the cancer would have already started to spread throughout my body, so I had to do the radiation. I did the radiation. I started the radiation in December 2015. I completed radiation in the later part of January 2016.
And what were those treatments like for you? Chemotherapy, your hair falling out, other stuff going on? What was that like for you?
Chemo is nothing to joke with. Because when I say it takes away all the hair off your body, it takes away all the hair off your body. You have no eyelashes, no eyebrows, no hair on your skin, absolutely no hair. So you might as well say I look like a skin rat.
Wow. Is this hereditary in your family?
No, I'm the first one that was diagnosed with breast cancer.
What was going through your mind when they told you stage 2 aggressive breast cancer?
Well, at first when Dr. Loxley Monroe told me that, I look at him and I say, me? I say, you sure they are my results? Because when he moved the lump, he was like, okay, so well, we're looking at the lump. This doesn't look cancerous or anything, because he said that results actually shocked him also to know that I had breast cancer. So I was like, you sure that's my results? You sure that's my results? And he was like, yes, Miss Neely, I know that's your results. I know that's your results.
What actually prompted you to move so quickly? Because I know normally when persons hear the word cancer, they freeze and they, take a little bit longer to react.
If someone was to tell you you have a stage 2 aggressive, which means that it's going into a stage 3, there are only 4 stages. So I know I had to act quickly.
And what has the support been like for you going through this?
Well, my family, you could say my family was there for me with some close friends that I had, but mostly my family and my sisters and my mother were really my support for me. They didn't show me any difference. Even my little sister even took a week off from school to be there with me when I did my surgery doing my double mastectomy.
And what was that like for you? Because I know you're a newlywed, I should say.
Well, I could say nothing changed within my marriage. My husband never showed me any difference or anything. He was there for me. So I could say my transitioning through all of that, because I had a strong support group, it wasn't hard on me. And so persons who know me to be a strong person, because they was like, you cutting off your breast, I was like, I choose life over breasts. They're just breasts.
And how are you doing now in terms of the cancer remission?
Okay, I'm in remission. I've been in remission for 4 years now, like you said. When I finished radiation in 2016, I actually got pregnant. I have a 2-year-old son. So even though I went through all of that, my body still was the same, and I still was very fertile to produce the next child.
And that didn't have any impact on?
The only thing they did was they closely monitored me, because the pregnancy where I got pregnant so fast, the pregnancy could have triggered, although I went through all them treatments, the pregnancy played with my hormone levels. And your hormone levels can trigger some of the cancer cells to come back if any was still present in my body.
And your son is fine?
Yeah, my son is fine.
Any advice you want to give to women out there, early detection, breast self-examinations?
All I can say is early detection is the key, because I always thought that you had to be at the age of 35 to get a mammogram, because I always did pap smears. I never did a mammogram. So I would say early detection is the key. Don't care how old you are, or if you're feeling one little pain or anything, you should go and see the doctor.
And let them know how old you were when you were diagnosed with breast cancer.
I was 30 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and best of luck as you spread the message of early detection for this Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And stay with us. We'll take you on a gasless ride of your life, so get ready to buckle up. Welcome back to the Morning Edition. The Jubilee Gardens residential area has been plagued with a number of social ills for many years, but the first ever Jubilee Bay Festival is hoping to bring some fun and camaraderie in that community. We not only caught up with vendors at the festival, but also organizers of the Neighborhood Watch organization who told us what their efforts are to keep residents safe during events like this. Chicken on the grill, face paintings, a scooter ride, the kids' favorite, the bouncing castle, and a plump 2-month-old pig were just some of the attractions for dozens of residents and visitors to Jubilee Gardens for the first ever Jubilee Gardens Bay Festival. A few of the vendors we spoke to talked about their items on display and how the festival proved a moneymaker.
We are a kids bar and we are specializing in virgin, alcohol-free drinks, so that's margaritas, pink lemonade, we have apple cider, we have iced tea, and then we also have brownies, and then we also have a trike that we're going to ride around, and it's really cool, just for the kids.
President of the Neighborhood Watch and Jubilee Bay Festival, Debbie Lightbourne, says while the festival was a successful one, the neighborhood is still facing a number of issues.
The landfill was one of the issues prior, but presently we have a lot of concern now with the homes that was maybe repossessed, I would say, because we have like about 12 homes that is empty here in Jubilee Gardens. And the residents are very concerned because the residents feel that people are hanging out in the homes, people are using the homes for whatever reason, and they feel somewhat kind of unsafe too because they have strange cars now in the area.
Liaison Officer in the Southwestern Division, Inspector Kendrick Brown, says both organizations are working together to not only address these issues, but to ensure that the residents can enjoy events like this in a crime-free environment.
We have already visited this area. We've already located those houses. We've already located those derelict vehicles. It's an interagency program where we have already contact the agencies involved. They are informed. So just a matter of time that those things are being answered. And so where there are derelict vehicles, we already have Ministry of Works, Ministry of the Environment on them. They have already been tagged. They're getting ready to move them very, very soon. The Gardens is very quiet, like you say, very, very small. And you'll see that crime is little to none here, and we are proud to say that the National Neighbor Watch program is working in Jubilee Gardens.
Keeping the community safe to host community events like the Jubilee Bay Festival is a plus for Area Member of Parliament Don Saunders. Saunders says he is looking forward to the partnership between the government and residents to build a better Jubilee.
The people of Jubilee, they are resilient people. They are people that's proven to the Bahamian people that notwithstanding all they've gone through, that they can still come out and do some great things. And this is evident of not only the people of Jubilee Gardens, but this is evident of the people of Tall Pines. So I want to encourage other communities in Tall Pines to contact me, and I'll help you just as I've been able to work with them to do such events in various communities throughout Tall Pines.
Antique cars, fun activities for the kids were all showcased at the first Bahamas Automotive Festival held over the weekend to raise money for the victims of Hurricane Dorian. Catherine Gomez was there.
A grand alliance of all motoring organizations in Nassau assembled at the Bahamas Hot Rod Association Motorsports Park this weekend to hold their first Bahamas Automotive Festival to raise funds for the victims of Hurricane Dorian. President of the Antique Auto Club, Freeman DeVoe, says, in a time when so much people are hurting, they had to do something to help.
After seeing the events and the tragedies that took place, it was so overwhelming. And myself, I've been to Treasure Key since the hurricane. And after seeing it, I couldn't take it, and I wasn't even there. So I just could imagine what the people that were involved in the hurricane, how they feel. So what some of the discussion we had was that we need to try and relieve some of that frustration, some of the pressure, some of the hopelessness that the people are experiencing by putting on an event like this. Try to raise money and also try to give them some sort of relief.
Famous YouTuber and member of the Bahamas Jeep Club, Dexter Abney, says he and the other motor organizations wanted to make a positive difference during this hard time.
We're all trying to do our part, in coming together and raising funds. And so this is just a fun event where people could come and support and get your mind off of all of the devastation that has happened. Hopefully this is a fresh start for everybody, and it's fun. It's a great cause.
A great cause indeed. I then came across Liam Farmer, who showed me how to drive a car without actually being inside. You don't believe me? Okay, watch for yourself. Cool, right? Liam tells us how it works.
So this is our brand new BYD Tang, right? BYD is a Chinese electric car company, the biggest, highest selling car company, electric car company in the world. And I was just driving the car with the key. You see, you don't need drivers in 2019. This is 2019, the whole world promise, right? So you got trouble parallel parking. It don't matter. You can just whip your key out, make sure all your edges straight, and just drive your car with your key.
Wait, that's not all.
So if you want to stop paying all this ridiculous prices for all this gas and get you an electric car, man, $1.20 a gallon. Doesn't that sound good? Less than $500 a year maintenance, no oil changes, none of that.
This event truly gave event goers an enjoyable ride. Catherine Gomez, ZNS Network News.
Great story there, Catherine. Stay close. We've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports on a Tuesday. We're coming to you from Gregory Town in Eleuthera, where the lines are in the water and we are going out for this big fishing tournament. What will they bring in today? Let's stay tuned. Here's how they went out. 4 boats, at least 6 so-called fishermen on board. They got off to a bit of a late start, but that did not slow down the fishermen at all as they began to pull them out of the water, all sizes and species, going into the deep waters, even some getting caught in shallow water. 4 hours later, they were back at the current dock, and it was time to count the catch of the day. 19. Ready, boy. Well, the champions here today, give us the name of your boat so everybody can know what y'all guys are.
Well, the name of our boat. Gentlemen, what's the name of the boat again? Never Hungry.
Never Hungry.
Is Never Hungry.
Whoever was on that boat today was never hungry because you guys came in with over 200 and something fish.
Oh, yes.
How was it out there?
It was spectacular. At first, myself, I didn't catch a thing. My wife caught most of the fish. But in the end, I came through. Through the help of the expert boat captain who took us to strategic drops that the other boats never knew about. We were able to get the fish in the boat, get them cooled down, and we did the job.
What is it? Women on the boat. Or she going today?
She was the one who was catching all the fish. Along with the boat captain and the first mate. They did an excellent job. Well, every year we look forward to our annual fishing event, which is the talks start from the beginning at our installation ceremony, Lodge Lieutenant Adventures 1816, and it carries throughout the year. So it builds up to this day, and the trash talking is had by all until we hit the water, and then at the final result is who the winner ends up to be.
Everybody was surprised, all won though.
Yeah. We're only 6 people on our boat, 6 to 7 people on our boat. Other boats had 10, other boats had 12. So we only 6 people, and we managed to come through with the win.
Congratulations, looking forward to next year.
Yes.
It was a fun time. I had a great time being the only lady, and I put my weight on the boat today.
Have you heard about putting a woman on the boat is hard, I think?
No, I've never heard that. But today, I brought them good luck. We had over 200 and like 245 pieces of fish. So it was a great time.
Thanks a lot.
How was it out there for you today? It was good, you know. It was good. But the late start, and the early finish cost us, didn't get first place, but we get second place. And we settled for that. Very happy.
How do you feel something like this is good for the camaraderie of brothers here in Eleuthera?
Oh, it is. It is. Because when I heard about it the first time, I stopped work and I said, this is where I'm going to be. I'm fishing going fishing with a lot of brothers. And I enjoy it. I enjoy every moment of it.
All right. How many did you catch today?
I would say about 100. Pretty close to 100.
You ready for next year?
And I'll have all roads will be just waiting for when that day comes. I'll be ready. But I want me to be in the same boat.
Okay, next year I'll be in the same boat too. And we can win. I had to go on a media boat today.
I wanted to be you going competition. So we check the most.
We can set up a challenge for later on in the year, and I'm coming back to you.
No, I have no problem with that. Anytime.
Folks, you heard it here first on the morning edition. Mr. Menace is challenging me to fishing competition. You don't know what he gets himself into.
Well, you don't know. You really don't know what he gets himself into. I sleep fishing. I eat fishing. I dream fishing. I drink fishing. I eat fishing.
So the challenge is on before the end of the year.
Yep.
The lines will be in the water, and the coolest will be in my hand.
That's right away. And I have a barracuda, especially my illustrious brother, Randy.
We're now joined by Devin Hepburn, who predicted that he would come first, but like they say, last finish last, and Devin, you're last again.
Well, I wouldn't say that I am last again, because I won last year. I came last this time, Mr. Fisher, and it's a bit disappointing, but I'm among brethren and friends.
How were the conditions out there today?
Oh, the conditions were awesome. Yeah, I honestly couldn't ask for a better day.
What went wrong?
Boy, I only wish I knew. I know we gave our Jamaican brethren the top captain. You know, I thought I learned enough from him over the years to, know his drops and beat him. But I guess it's like they say, you don't teach a person everything you know. You teach them everything they know, but not everything you know. So I fell short, and I'm quite sure my brethren will prop me up.
Next year now, what's next year?
Oh man, come on. I lost, not last year, but the year before. After that I came and I won. So I don't see any reason why I can't win next year.
The trouble, when we first met, you told me you were the defending champion. What happened?
No, I am the champion.
You weren't on the winning boat, did it?
No, I just allow others to win. I mean, when you have the kind of security of tenure, when you have the confidence of a winner, you don't know others. That is my good friend and my brother. So I don't.
Looking forward to next year and redeeming yourself?
I will always be here. The second weekend of every October is a calendar event for us, and trust me, I shall be there.
I've been asking all the guys, this camaraderie with the mountains, the guys are very good.
Oh yeah, we created this twinning arrangement between the loggers in Jamaica and the Bahamas. As a matter of fact, there are several loggers twin, but ours are 500 and all loggers are twin. This is 5 years ago, and when I was in the chair, it happened. And I take ownership of it, and I'm very pleased and happy with the way it has turned out. It has captured the imagination of many, and we're hoping that we can go from strength to strength. This feature event every year has taken a different complexion altogether. This year was phenomenal because for the first time we've seen 4 boats And we have never seen so many fish being caught in any one day. And it's tremendous to be. And outside of the fishing and the camaraderie and the winning and all that kind of thing, it's just the day of activity. That is so great. That brings together so many different cultures, two different cultures, it's tremendous.
Monday was National Heroes Day, and two of the nation's heroes returned to the 242 after outstanding performances at the World Track and Field Championships earlier this month in Qatar. Gold medalist Stephen Gardner in the 400 meters and Shawnee Miller-Uibo, who picked up a silver medal also in the women's 400 meters.
We just wanted to go out there and perform our best abilities, put all our hard work out there, and put on a show for our country and for the world to see that the Bahamas is not just small, but we're mighty. And it's just an honor to be back home. It's a golden moment for me. All the hard work, the injury early in the year, I just had to stay focused and put God first and came out on top. So right now it's just a blessing and it's an honor. We raced it a few other people in the races a few times before, so I just want to go out there and perform my best. I know that I've been putting in the hard work just like everybody else, and I know what I'm capable of doing. So it's butterflies, it's just normal adrenaline, but I never count myself out and I never count anybody else out, but I just go out there and focus on myself and do what I have to do.
We really do appreciate all the love and support that we receive from the Bahamas. This championship was a big one for us. We just really wanted to come out there and support everybody and do our best to represent our country as best as we could. We knew that was a time of devastation for the country, and so we went out there and we put our countries on our back, and we just went out there to make you guys proud and do our very best. And so thank you guys so much for the warm welcome, like I said. I think I can speak for all of us when we say we just want to lay back and relax a bit and enjoy the Bahamas. Yeah, eat some conch salad.
Wow,
we couldn't do that when we were in the middle of the season, but we're just going to come home, we're going to celebrate and just enjoy the time back with our people. For each of us, we're trying to stretch it as long as we could. It was a pretty long season, and so that means the break was a little bit shorter, especially with the Olympics coming back so soon, and so I think we're all stretching for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Shawnee and Stevie will be in town all week during tours. They'll be visiting various high school, primary schools, and also be taking their World Championship speech to the Family Islands. And that's going to do it for Tuesday Morning Sports. On the morning edition, I'm Charles Fisher here in Gregory Town, Eleuthera.
The country's youth is being celebrated in a big way as National Youth Month is being observed this month. With the theme Youth Globally Connected Locally, officials continue to recognize the developments and success of young Bahamians from various disciplines. Our Lloyd Allen joins us live with consultant and chairperson of the National Youth Month Committee, Sandina Neely.
Well, again, good morning, Ladon. Good morning, Bahamas. We're here this morning at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, joined by Sandina Neely and Rasdanera Thompson. These are officials who work in the department who are helping us to understand better about some of those initiatives earmarked for National Youth Awareness Month. Good morning, Ms. Neely. Tell us a bit about Youth Month. What have you done so far this month?
Thank you so much, Lloyd, for having us. So our theme this year for October 2019 is Globally Connected, Locally Focused, and we're focusing on everything youth this month. And so far for the month, we've already had Jesus in the Park. That was one of our signature events that we kicked off with. And we've also had our nominee medal pinning ceremony. And we've also had a Connect and Paint event where we hosted wards of the state and even some of the evacuees from Grand Bahama and Abaco to a time of art and soul where they sipped on pizza and sodas, and they had a great time on Saturday past.
All right, so I know you also have several events planned for the rest of the month. Tell us a bit more about that.
Well, good morning, Lloyd. Good morning, Don. Good morning, Bahamas. I'm so excited for Saturday, October 19th, which is the National Scavenger Hunt. Well, basically, clues are going to be given in the downtown area, and the more clues you find, the closer you are to your goal. And it is my favorite event because there's a cash prize of $750 for the group that gets the most clues. And of course, the week following, we were going to have our National Youth Awards on October 23rd at the Atlantis Resort, where young people will be receiving their awards for various categories such as leadership, arts, religion, youth, everything. And of course, Youth in Parliament is that Friday, October 25th, where young people will be debating topics that are relevant to Bahamian society. And of course, the big event, the National Youth March and Rally, Sunday, October 27th, beginning at Clifford Park. Of course, we expect to see 10,000 young people out there marching throughout the streets of New Providence. And of course, to end Youth Month, which will be in November 3rd, will be the National Youth Band Encounter, where youth bands will put on a demonstration in Rawson Square, similar to the Beat Retreat. So we invite everyone to come out and partake in the fun and festivities of National Youth Month.
Well, sounds like a lot of information there, but Ms. Neely, don't run away yet. I'm not done with you. So I know you've only been in this department for about 2 weeks. Yes. Tell me about some of the history that drew you into this ministry, I want to call it.
Yes, so I'm starting my 3rd week here in this position as a consultant with the Division of Youth, but my history with youth work has been over 2 decades, and it's such a joy to come and to be more inculcated and hands-on in the ministry so that we can take things higher, further, and better.
And of course, with Youth Awareness Month and us now coming on the heels of Dorian, how important do you think it is to really make an impact among the nation's youth?
It's more important than ever, and that's why our theme focuses on being locally focused. Even though we're globally connected, we want the young people who are here from Abaco and from Grand Bahama to feel all of the love that we have to give them, support them with our programs. We have a Fresh Start program that is designed especially for evacuees. They can visit our website at celebrateyouthbahamas.org. They can call us, they can visit us, they can email us. Get in touch with us in any way. We have a program designed especially and specifically for those who are here from Abaco or Grand Bahama.
All right, so thank you so much. So, of course, that's about youth this month, and that's the focus here at the Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture. LaDawn, reporting back to you in studio.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. And for our final outlook on weather, here's Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean.
Oh, thank you, LaDawn. In our final look at weather, we get you started again with the tropics, and we have TD number 15. That formed yesterday evening is over in the far eastern Atlantic. As you can see, showers and thunderstorms associated with that just to the south and east of the Cape Verde Islands. And then we have another area that we're looking at several hundred miles to the east of the Los Angeles. This one has about a 20% chance of development. But over the Bahamas, high pressure is now taking control of our weather, so we're going to see beautiful weather for the next several days. But getting back to TD number 15, we expect it to move northwest during the course of the day, could possibly become a tropical storm, but will be short-lived, as by tomorrow it will be back down to tropical depression status, as it will be encountering some strong upper-level sharing that will hinder development there. And today, we're looking at a pretty nice day, mostly sunny and nice. High temperature reaching about 87 degrees with some relatively light winds. And then tonight we're looking at almost clear skies, a low temperature of 74 degrees. Extended weather over the next several days. Beautiful weather right into Friday, but come the weekend, we'll see some clouds work their way back into our forecast, and that will be as a result of a frontal system which is moving towards the south and east that could stall just north of the Bahamas, keeping some showers in the forecast on Saturday and Sunday. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for us here on the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. See you right back here at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everyone.